I don't know what I did in a previous lifetime, but I must have done something right, because I'm currently somewhere on a hilltop in Spain. I couldn't really tell you where. I have combined 410 horsepower at my disposal and absolutely no supervision. I keep saying this has been a really, really good day. And yeah, I'm not quite sure where to start really. We went to a superbike race at the Aragon circuit this morning. We went into the pit box, had full access, talked to some of the riders, had a blast of a time. And yeah, to make things even better, Jonathan Ray won the race one on something that resembles this. Technically it's very different, so what better way to celebrate to take one of these out? And to make it fair, this is a Kawasaki with 210 horsepower. It only makes sense to take out another Kawasaki with 210 horsepower. They're two completely different bikes, even though the specs look similar. What is interesting, this is a 1400 and this is a 1000cc. So the bikes that I was riding yesterday, the Ninja 400, that is essentially the difference between these things. But they are very different in character, very different in power delivery, and both very spectacular in their own right. Before I continue, I will say we haven't scripted any of this. I generally don't script what I'm going to yap on about, but usually I prepare something, I have a think about it. We knew there were going to be these bikes at some point. We didn't know when they were going to be. They basically gave us the keys after lunch and said, guys, go have fun. Is this going to be informative? No. Is this going to be educational? Probably not. But yeah, if you get the chance to take either one of these out, you're not going to say no either. So bear with me, and yeah, let's just take it from here. So let's start with this ZX-10R. So this is a Kawasaki ZX-10R Special Edition. And what makes the Special Edition special is that it has this rather nice matte black paint job. It has the new semi-active suspension from Showa, and it has the lightweight Marchesini wheels from the ZX-10R. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. I can't remember how much it costs, but I'll stick it underneath here somewhere. Not really important. What is important is this has 210 horsepower, and it is an absolute weapon of a bike. I drove a regular ZX-10 about 2 years ago in Almeria, the one without the fancy electronic suspension, and while it was stunning, it was a little bit nervous because of the suspension. So Spain generally has excellent roads, surface is fantastic, you'd feel absolutely everything, but it would kind of lose its composure if the surface was anything less than stellar. Now this one has the semi-active suspension, and it makes a huge difference. It's very confidence inspiring. There's a bunch of roadworks down here, as you can see. We've been over quite a few bits of tarmacs that had some bumps, and it hasn't lost its composure at all. It's really stunning how smooth everything is. Yet at the same time, it keeps the feel. So if you go over a tiny piece of gravel, you'll know, but it doesn't upset the stance of the bike whatsoever. Very, very impressive. Otherwise, yeah, this thing is absolutely stunning. I think I will run out of superlatives telling you how great it is. It is absolutely fabulous. The brakes are insanely sharp, and they're even brand new, so they haven't really been broken in yet. The level of feedback that you get from this thing is unparalleled. I'm going to be a bit annoying and do an unofficial comparison. About 2 weeks ago, I had a go on a 2018 S1000RR, a BMW. I will preface this by saying I only had about 15 minutes on it, and it was still being broken in. But to give it a little bit of reference, the S1000, the BMW, feels easier to drive. It has a lot more torque down below, gobs of power down below. I didn't get to take it much over, I think, 9,000 RPM, but down below it's super, super quick, and I have no doubt that above that it'll be blisteringly fast. But where they primarily differ is the character. So this is a bike that is very, very pure. It does have the electronic suspension. It doesn't feel like it's nannying you. You don't feel like the bike is doing more work than you are. It's a very pure experience. You feel absolutely everything. Not a lot of power down below, but it's nice and raw. And the whole experience is absolutely visceral. This is very much a scalpel. Now, I don't want to criticize the Beamer because I only rode 15 minutes, it wasn't broken in yet, but they are very, very different bikes in character. Anyway, yeah, we took it relatively easy on these because, believe it or not, but this kind of thing does actually get quite tiring, and they are absolutely brand new tires, brand new brakes, everything. So we took it relatively easy. This is a bike where you feel the speed. So we did doing about 150 and it does feel 150. That one doesn't do that. You can be doing about 300. We took it about 250. You have no clue. This thing is absolutely stunning. I think of all the bikes that I've ridden, if I had unlimited funds and was going to get a track bike, of the ones that I have ridden, this is going to be one for me. I drove a ZX-10R last year. I've driven some older model Beamers, and this one's just a bit more pure, it's a bit more focused. This is an absolute adrenaline rush. And when it hits 8,000 to 9,000 RPM, it's a missile. It's again, I'm not going to bother you with all the superlatives. It's stupidly fast. And it feels that way too, which is cool. So yeah, this has been really fun. I really like this thing. If you are looking to get a track bike, definitely consider one of these. I don't know if it's going to be a great road bike for sort of city driving. The GSX-R or the Beamer might actually be a bit better, but as a track bike, yeah, I'm speechless. So moving on. ZZR1400, also a Kawasaki, also 210 horsepower, but a very, very different kind of bike. So this is not supposed to be a racer. This is not made for knee downs, for cornering, or for lap times. This thing is basically designed so that you can get on it across a continent in a day at stupid miles an hour as well. So unlike that one, which has very much a build-up in regards to power, this one has power basically from turnover, from idle. So you put it in first gear, you let the clutch go without touching the gas, you can drive it up a hill, no problem. And where that one has a build-up and then it goes bang, this one has a pretty linear power delivery, so there's no bang, there's no sudden rush of power. And as a result, in combination with the suspension and the general size of the bike, this is a bike that really masks its speed. So we were taking it around the hills earlier. As I said, we're taking it relatively easy. Went over a couple bumps. I felt a bit of a wiggle and I was like, that's unusual because otherwise the composure is excellent. Thinking I was doing about 100, maybe 120, I looked down at the speedo and I was doing 180. It is stupidly fast and you just don't feel it. Whereas on that one, you know exactly what you're doing. This is a bike that you will lose your license tomorrow. So very different in character, doesn't have the electronic suspension, doesn't really miss it. The suspension is very plush, yet at the same time it's very tight. This is a bike that you don't feel absolutely everything in the same way that you do on the ZX-10, but it's incredibly comfortable. This is the cliche hammer wrapped in a bunch of velvet, really. It is quite direct, you do feel what it's doing. It's not that it lacks feedback, it's just incredibly fast and it masks it in every way possible. We did a few drag races, which was a lot of fun actually. This one is faster down below, that one's faster at the top end, which is no surprise. But the power difference, the speed difference, once you do start pushing it, this thing absolutely blows past this one. Down below, as a regular sort of street riding situation, this is going to be the faster bike. What else should we discuss on this? It has double Akrapovic mufflers, which look really cool. They come with DB killers. We left them in because there are 4 of them and we're lazy and we just wanted to go ride them. I actually think it has a full system because the pipes have a really cool color to them, but I don't want to confirm that. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else I should tell you. If you want to cross a continent in a day's time at stupid miles an hour, buy this one. If you want an extremely visceral, really pure track experience, that's the one you want to get. So far, this review, I guess. I'm not really sure what else I can tell you about these bikes. They are absolutely spectacular in their own right. Big thank you to Kawasaki. We might have a go on something else tomorrow with a supercharger. That was actually planned for today, but some other journalists had nicked it, so we got this one instead. But yeah, stunning day. I think we're going to piss off now and enjoy the light and the roads. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.
Wedstrijdje dan maar.
Ja, we doen.
Sorry? Ik had dus 2. 1? Vol spelen. Ja, nu moeten we terug.
So I'm back at the hotel. I'm sitting out front. The Spanish lady sitting next to me drinking her beer probably thinks I'm a bit weird for talking to my camera on my own. But I need to talk about that ZX-10. I know we did a little piece earlier, which you've already seen. Talked about it there. That was a very honest, impromptu, unscripted, we're having a blast of a time, this thing is amazing kind of video. But now that I'm back, I need to add to that because there's so much that I feel wasn't included in that video. That ZX-10 has left me a little bit speechless, and words are not enough. It's incredibly fast. My neck muscles literally ache from bracing myself against the acceleration. Especially once you get it over that 8,000–9,000 RPM, you get it into the power band. There's just this kind of whoosh feeling that you don't get on the ZZR1400. Sure, there are other bikes that'll do that, but what is most amazing about that ZX-10 is the handling. It's absolutely telepathic. It is the most raw, the most visceral, and the most pure machine I think I've ever driven, which is interesting because most of the other bikes I've driven with electronic suspension have kind of numbed the experience a little bit, and that ZX-10 SE did exactly the opposite. It is, I'm speechless. It's telepathic. The way that you can change direction, the way that you can adjust your corner, the way that you can adjust your speed. The brakes are razor sharp, and this is a bike that hasn't even been broken in yet. I'm speechless. That was one of the most visceral experiences I've had. And driving back after we shot that video, I had a bit of a moment. The roads here are absolutely stunning. We had sort of a lot of tight corners. I don't think I have the footage because the GoPro conked out somewhere along the road. But had really tight corners. Everything sort of up to about 120. Did most of that in first gear. The bike is stunning. Got onto the longest sweeper ones. We're doing sort of 200k through the corners. The view is stunning. There's valleys with these views that look out over them. The sun is out. My friend's next to me on the ZZR, pulling stupid wheelies. And yeah, I had a bit of a moment. I'm not sure if I should put this in the video, but I do recognize that I am incredibly lucky to travel around, drive some of the finest stuff on someone else's dime. So I'm not quite sure what the point is of this message. I do realize how unbelievably lucky I am. Big thank you to Kawasaki. Big thank you to Motorforum, the website in Holland that I do this stuff for. And yeah, that bike's and today has left me a little bit speechless, so I will stop blabbering on right now. Yeah.